So when you're beginning your journey in life and you're leveling up, you as a young cat, now you're moving through, progressing through life. Talk about your journey. How was your mindset? Was there a lot of people around you that was assisting you, or were you on your own?
The emotion of loneliness is something humans unfortunately can never escape. It was tied to our chances of existing in the hunter gatherer age. It's tied to depression, anxiety, mental health. So when they say don't succumb to peer pressure, I actually would argue that is very difficult. And you should not get mad at a child for giving in to the in crowd. If you're going to ground him for doing something that he was forced to by friends, remember our brains are hardwired for acceptance. However, there's a flip side to this. You asked me, was I alone on the journey or did I have companions? Now, I'll be the first one to tell you guys that hitting your goals is much, much easier with a dedicated companion. Now, who exactly can become a companion is the next question. I have had about 7 or 8 hustle buddies, I call them. So these were guys I used to work out with consistently, I used to study with. We used to wake up early, motivate each other. And none of them exactly stayed. Like I'm grateful for a lot of them in terms of, they might have helped me get a good GPA for a couple of years. They would have got me to the gym or kept me motivated when things are tough. But it's very hard to find someone who will actually stay, except my boy right over here. Now, my social circle shrank like this when I started leveling up. I remember when I decided to go ghost, I didn't want to hang out with these cats anymore. I wanted to live my own life, got more into studies, got more into the gym. And I haven't seen these guys in about a year. They're my old high school friends. This is, 3, 4 years after high school. And there was one guy who came down to the city, right? He moved for school and he came back. So he, called me 10, 15 times, dude, you have to come out. Like we're all hanging out, we're all chilling. So, well, what are you guys doing? Okay, we're meeting at the bridge. The bridge is this place in our community. It's a beautiful place. It's on the river, nice scenery, it's picnic benches. So he said, okay, come to the bridge, everyone's going to be there. I didn't want to go. I was actually in summer school. And he guilt tripped me, said, I haven't seen you in so long. The boys are going to see you. So imagine this, okay? I'm walking to the bridge. It's a public place. So there's kids, there's seniors, there's just average people chilling. 10 of these guys were in a circle, all with blunts and alcohol bottles, and take it at 7 p.m. So my first alarm is saying in my brain, okay, these guys are really stupid. If you're going to do that, please go to somewhere wooded or secluded, not out in the public. So you can get fined, even arrested. So I go and they toss me a blunt. And I said, no, man, I'm not into smoking. I don't want to smoke with you. And they start taunting me. They're saying, oh, Mr. Jack Malana. For those who don't know what Malana is, it's a religious teacher in Islam. So they start taunting me, oh, Jack Malana. Oh, Mr. Religion now. Where's your Quran now? Where's your Quran, bro? And I'm looking at them. It's like, oh, it's a Jack Malana, eh? Push-ups over a drink. And I'm thinking
Exactly.
to myself, I'm like, okay, you losers are sitting there with a dad bod, no education, poor lifestyle, and you're trying to taunt me. Now, it's unfortunate because a lot of guys will follow their friends. And I know a lot of my personal friends too that could have been superstars, they could have been killers, but they never even got close because they were afraid of what the guys thought. You have to remember they're not the guys, they're not your buddies. But how do you balance the loneliness with yourself and your own sanity, right? You have to understand that these types of guys are losers. Once you understand that these guys, not only are they not going places, but you have to ask yourself, if you were a little boy, would you find these people cool? That's my barometer. And I ask a lot of guys this too, is that how to judge yourself. If you were a little boy in your grade 6 yearbook, would you write down the career you are today as your dream career in the 6th grade yearbook? Because I haven't seen anyone writing garbage man, alcoholic, weed smoker. I haven't seen anyone write that in their grade 6 yearbook. And ask yourself, are these really the people that I would think, are cool or leveling up or popular when I was young? No. I don't think that any grade 6 kid would look up to a guy who looks like Homer Simpson with a donut around his waist and an alcohol problem. I just don't think so.
These are your guys who are the incels. So
These are the incels. Yeah, these are the incels. And once your brain, I think, actually categorizes these guys as losers and thinks that, okay, you're not someone who I would aspire to be when I'm 12 years old. Why would I aspire to be like you now? Then you have a much easier time on actually cutting them and avoiding them. Remember, you will always find successful people. You just might not find them at the moment. But when you're doing outrageous things, others on the same path will find you. Maybe it's 6 a.m. at the hill doing hill sprints by your house. You're going to find that one outlier that goes there at the same time. You're going to become friends. Remember, just because you're lonely for a period of time does not mean you're going to be lonely forever. That's huge. Yeah, a couple years might suck, but those couple years are going to go by regardless if they suck or if they're great. But loneliness is not a definition that you have to embody for the rest of your life. When you are the top 1%, you're going to become friends with other top 1%ers. So remember, it's just a phase. Do you want to be like these people? Would your 10-year-old self look at these people in awe or disgust? Ask yourself the question, boys. Nothing is worth doing stupid decisions with others when compared to doing good things for yourself. God bless.